course.
I really appreciate you coming on the pod.
It's a long time, innit?
I can't lie, I was very starstruck when they said you was coming on the podcast. I said, Estelle, you know? Come on, bro.
Because I mind my business.
Listen, when American Boy comes out, I'll be grooving, boy. It's a pleasure, one, to just like see your success across the pond. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Like, it's been great to see, like, from the artist you was when you first came out to where you are now, and the fact that you're living out there. We have a lot of friends in common and stuff like this, and even have you on the pod, it was like rah, Estelle, right, she's coming on the pod, yeah. So yeah, man. But you come from major humble beginnings, like you know, you're from West London, from Hammersmith, as well. So what's your background? Because it's West African descent in the sense of, so.
Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Grenada, Trinidad.
Ah, yes. Yeah. So you got the real West African, but then you got the small island Caribbean in there as well.
Yep.
So what was it like growing up in West London? The early days, man.
Well, you know, Grenadians, we all live in like super West. We're all like, the whole family's between Grove and Bush. Like everyone in Grenada is between Grove and Bush. 100%. Everybody from Grenada came and settled in those two streets.
No one's in Chiswick.
Nobody's in Chiswick. Stopped right at like Palacewick Road. Like,
yeah, man.
It's like right there. But like my family was, we're big and we're close knit.
Okay.
You know, like there's like 9 kids in my immediate. As at periods of time there were 6 of us. So we did the grown 6. And then the 3 younger girls came along, and it's like they're the younger ones who had a life half in London, half out of London, because I became famous. So, you know, family moved out of the area, West Kent. And so it's good though. It's like, we're like Insta friends. You know, I will say that was the vibe. I never met my real dad until I was like 17, and then 23. It was a 2-part series. And then him and my mom got back together when I was 23, and then they got married when I was 33. So life has been interesting in general, and in all this time I've been making music, I've been an artist. It's been a time.
So in terms of your influence, because you've got the West African influence and you've got that small island Caribbean influence, and what I've always noticed about especially West London, because I grew up in South London, West London, you guys always had good trainers.
We're bougie.
You always had good trainers. There was a store, where's I think it's in Shepherd's Bush Market, Global Sports. Global Sports.
So you used to come there and buy your trainers?
Yeah. I used to have a look. I didn't say the prices were pricing. But one thing, I think West London's always reminded me of
Global Sports. Now I'm bugging.
Yeah. Like, and they had the crepes back then. That was your first
babes.
place.
They were the first place to have babes. Yeah.
But what I'd always noticed about West London always had a sense of, like, you guys always had good trainers. There was always like people dressed really, really well. You see that with people that have come out of West London.
Yes.
You know, you look at that Mikey and the guys at Trap Star and all that kind of stuff. But there was always this like togetherness. Then this is just me observing from someone from South. There seemed like a togetherness in a sense of everyone knew each other. So when, like, you know, you go to Carnival, West London will always post it up. And you're like, what? Whoa.
Well, it was in Carnival. Yeah. It was like Carnival's in West London.
Yeah, but it was like, it was like, okay, like, for example, Peckham and Brixton, if Carnival was in South, wouldn't really be together. Do you know what I mean? And this is a hypothetical. I don't want no one on the pod like, no, but they was because my cousin went. I just mean in a sense for what we would observe.
Right.
It just felt like West London had a bit more togetherness. Yeah. Obviously, it's in West London, but there would be everyone from West was all there.
West,
and I don't know if it was Carnival. Yeah. I'm just speculating whether it felt like people said, look, let's just allow the differences.
Yeah.
Because
I think it was that.
Yeah, but the influence of, like, you know, like Carnival, like the Caribbean community. And when you got up to like a bit more further, like Northwest, you got Harlesden, massive Caribbean community there as well. Yeah. So how did that start shaping your love for music at an early age?
Well, I know, like you mentioned Carnival, and you got to think about when and how it started in Notting Hill, in Ladbroke Grove and Bush, in like those areas. And when people would come over, it wasn't to Brixton necessarily, it was to West London. Yeah. Like that's where the houses were, where they could get houses. Yes. My granny moved
of course.
there. And so you had African people living right next to West Indians, teaching each other, showing each other, moving with each other. My mum always tells me, like, look, you had Jamaican cousins before you was born. I was like, I did? You know, like, so she knew patois, she knew how to make rice and peas long before we came along. right? But she also, my granny was like, you're gonna know cassava leaf, you're gonna know plasas, you're gonna know okra stew. You know, like that's how this is us though. Like, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So it's just all a mix up, and I think that like the music side of it came when my mum, my granny, my mum, and my aunties and all of them, they would just have. It was a standard in the house as music. You could do whatever you move around, whatever. There's something playing. I remember that distinctly as a child. And if there was no music playing, every day around 4:00 when I came in from school, the man upstairs would play his piano. Or I just said it was the man upstairs. Could have been a woman. I don't know. But they were just upstairs, and it was this piano sound playing, like a beautiful classical jazz something piano playing for like 2 hours every single day, except a Sunday.
Okay.
Right. So there's a recurring sound in my head of this piano guy, and then there's Nina Simone, and there's my granny sometimes play Frank Sinatra, and then, like the old school white people music that she came to assimilate to when she came in. And then she would play Makossa and Kasa, like, and all the different types, and it was just in our house. Then my mum started dating my stepdad, and they had a sound. Him and his friend Martin had a sound, and they would go out. And he had his red fan, and they would take their speakers and go play people's parties. So the reggae was a thing, like dancehall and soca was a thing, because everyone hosted house parties. So that was just my life. Like when you look at Lovers Rock, the film, Steve McQueen, that was me. Like down to the Grenada and the Africa, like the pictures on the wall, the kids hiding on the stairs. We didn't have stairs. In the room looking out. It was me and my sisters and brothers.
Big people conversations. That's what was happening.
We had little stools. When we were being too inner, my mum would be like, go and get the stool. Come and sit down. And we took our fast selves and got the stools and then got beats. Like right after. Like, what are you doing? Like, you thought I was joking? Like, what do you think you are? Go to bed. So it was all of that. It was really that. Like, it's wild looking at that movie, because it was like, oh shit, this is really my mum and dad. This is really our life. Crazy.
And did your aunt play a massive part in terms of
R&B?
Like
a nominal role, because she was the cool 80s R&B auntie, the one that was like, me and Sharon are going to the club, like she was that auntie, and she's like the hot girl auntie. And she had like Luther Vandross and Alexander O'Neal was her favorite, Stevie Wonder, who I ended up singing with maybe when I was like 32. For the first time, I sang her favorite song with him on stage. I called and sent videos like, look, I'm singing with Stevie. It's your favorite song. Look. It was a whole thing,
That must have been a moment, though.
Man, there's been so many moments of like, yeah, God, you love me. God, you love me.
So with your aunt playing such a big part in terms of, especially bringing that soul sound, because the only correlation I could ever make is my sisters, when they would go out, they go to like some of the clubs, and they used to listen to old school garage. They go to some of the clubs, I don't know, Equinox or Imperial Gardens in Camberwell.
I feel like I'm your sister's age.
Yes, and they go to Central, and that was their scene. So it was almost them coming back. I was like, what's this song? What's this music like listen to? Like,
wow.
And I feel like,
I feel grown.
you know that influence of like aunties, or especially when there's a bigger age gap, because me and my sisters, the age gap is 8 and 9 years. So when they were like, so I'm 37. So when they were going outside, I was in school essentially. But I always feel like it's someone like an uncle or someone that lets you hear a sound and you're like, oh, what's this, man?
For life. That's how we pass down our stories, our recipes, isn't it? Isn't it? How we do it?
Yeah.
That's what they do. They bring in something that they're excited about, play it around the house, dance around the house. Like my mom was into like Sister Sledge and the Pointer Sisters.
Okay.
That was her like 3 Degrees, and that was her growing up. My uncle loved all Big Daddy Kane, all the hip hop.
Okay.
We were jungle, garage, hip hop, soul, R&B. We respected it all and loved it, and they played it in the house. But we were playing SWV and Jodeci and And then as we get older, and then there's a lot of British artists we listen to, everyone from Goldie, Ronnie Size, and all of them too, that led into garage and all the different MCs. So like it's just, I think it's just, you carry what you carry.
Yeah.
But you carry your roots with you. Does that make sense? You carry what you heard growing up with you. And that's what this whole new album's for me about. Yeah.
Because it's always interesting, like growing up, how like the music that I would have to do chores to was real old school reggae.
Yep.
My dad's a Rasta man, so he's Naya Bingi reggae. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff that you could only ever get on cassettes.
Yep.
And then I remember my uncle, he was playing jungle once, and I was like, "What is this?
Yep.
This? I shouldn't be listening to this." Like,
this is blasphemous. You sure, Jesus?
Yeah, I was like, what's this,
is this
man?
right?
Sub bass, and that's where I felt like.
Did they tell you it was devilish?
No, but it was only I'd never heard it again after that until I got a bit older, and I was like, oh, this is the stuff that my uncle was playing.
Yeah.
In your teens, like you worked at Deal Real Records.
Mm-hmm. Deal Real was off Carnaby Street. I think Noel Street is a street owned by a guy called Pete Real. Pete was getting over the business, and by the time after I'd left, he sold it to Tony Tago and the crew, and they moved it to Carnaby Street. Yeah. And it continued. Tony and Vincent, two amazing black entrepreneurs, and they moved it to Carnaby Street, and they kept the legacy going for a while. But like I was in the original one, and that was a movie. Yeah, like I was like I don't like to say like I was the only girl, but there weren't too many other women in the scene that worked at the stores at that time. Yeah, and it was like every artist you could think of from maybe 98 to 2001 had to come through there. Yeah. It was, like it was a rite of passage. Yeah.
If you was an artist coming to London, or you was an artist from the UK. Yeah. Because they have their ciphers. Yeah. I would go there with a friend of mine who used to do music. I didn't know there was an original store because my when I first started going there, I was around about, let's say, I don't know, 18. So going to Central, if we ever wanted to buy, like, you know, you're like, I want to get an official album. Yeah. You'd go to the massive HMV in Oxford Street. Tower Records as well. Tower Records was quite cool because they had that little thing where you could scan it and listen to the music. So we would be like, I don't like this. I don't think we're going to get that one. But you might get the odd mixtape in there. It was an experience
going to like physically buy music. Yes. I met so many good people just browsing the aisles. Like it was like one of my best friends. We met the night before at a club, and I was just like, "Oh, you're a cool guy." And then the very next day, he happened to be browsing in the same section. I was like, "Didn't I just see you yesterday?" Like it was sick. Like, and we've been friends for years. Like,
oh, is it?
That at HMV.
Yeah. I think Deal Real was special though, like because I think this was at a time when YouTube / maybe MySpace had just come out. Yep. So anyone sharing videos, that was the platform. And I remember YouTube at the time, I think Jump Off was almost like one of the early platforms where people would do battle rapping on the street. Yeah. They'd have obviously like their live event as well. Yeah. You had people like Benny Scars hosting it.
I'm wowing because I'm just remembering like you said the Jump Off. Oh my god! Shout out to Big Tony.
Off. Early Jump Off days, man.
Shout out to Tony.
Big up Benny Scars, who's now that's Dave's manager. Yeah. So it's funny whenever I see him, I'm like, man, know about you back in the day, you know? he was hosting the battle raps.
He was trying to be a rapper. Yeah.
But it's like I feel like that early scene must have been so interesting because we would only ever go there to sometimes get records, but it was like I think it was every Friday that they have like a kind of cypher open mic. You have a DJ there,
and they tried to do it in other shops in the area, but
it never worked.
It was terrible.
You had to get there early. Yep. Put your name down. If you're good, you can get a little
touch of the mic.
Yeah, it's a quick 32.
Yeah, not 32.
Yeah,
a quick 32.
It's always a quick 16.
Yeah.
But you know, like when it's like
good.
You know, it's like past the mic and someone's like, nah, bro. I just want to see liberties, and then looking at me and my degrees.
Riggedy
you
raps.
got to open up your third eye. All right, yeah. Chill out.
There's a lot of riggedy raps going on back there.
The conscious.
So much conscious.
I'm just speaking from the mind. But like, what was it like for you in them early? Because I could imagine if you're in college and you work in a place like that, and the people that are coming in and out of the shop, that must have been such a cool place to work in because
Jeez.
One, if you're doing music anyway,
Yeah.
you get to meet people, but also just being in the environment,
It's exciting. Like when I look at it now, it's exciting. It was just like, oh shit, like, like every artist you think of is going to come through there. The anticipation wasn't that they were going to come. It was just like, I might get to see Common. I might, and I did. I got to see, and I knew them all before I put out any albums.
Yeah.
So the phasingness, like the being like super excited to meet rappers and stuff, with me, I don't care. Like I look at people as humans, and that's where I got my grounding for that. Because I feel like I met so many more people who were just really much better humans, just being in and around that, than the artists I would meet sometimes.
Especially with musicians at that time, where I feel like hip hop was really like it just came after that kind of, I wouldn't say that. I say the second wave of gangster rap with 50 Cent and rappers like that. But you also had this great movement with other rappers like your Lupe Fiascos and Kanye West, Commons.
That came as a result of the Mos Defs and the Qualities and the early Common and Slum Village. Like the Lupe and them came as a result of them existing.
Because what I liked about Deal Real, you'd get a mixture of both that would go to the store. So you would get like Talib Kweli at the store with Mos Def, and then next week Dipset are there.
Quite literally. Quite literally, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, it was a great leveler. And it was just a good time, I think, and it allowed British rap to me, and just the culture of British rap fostered, it gave people space.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like and it influenced, I say it gave people space, and it influenced the idea that, and this is across the world, it influenced the idea that you could stand, it doesn't have to just be your street corner in your area, in your hood. You'll go to London and people are going to give you the same respect, but they're also going to get their bars off, right? Artists respected artists in that space and in that moment. And they took that back. This wasn't some like, I'm just going to go over there and colonize and act like the big star. Like you had to really rap, because right next to you had a guy who was like, yeah, that's cute that you're Dipset, but like also wait, I'm me though.
Yeah.
And so it was really...
And you'd have someone who... you'd have like, I don't know, like Skinny Man in there or Kalashnikov in there.
Well, right.
And you're like, okay, yeah.
Okay, no, he really has bars. And then he's rapping next to your big American whoever.
Yeah.
So it was a leveler. It was very much that. And you had to respect us, because also no one was pussy. So no one was out here acting like, oh, I'm not going to do my best rap, so I'm not going to... You can't talk to me any kind of way either.
Yeah.
So it was a level of respect, like road respect, that they didn't... A lot of people didn't think that they had to come get, but once they came and saw, they were like, oh, okay.
I think what I also liked with like A Real Deal is that you'll see people that you might have seen on like a Channel U at the time or MTV Base.
Yeah.
And you'd only ever see them in a music video. And then you're there and you're like, oh, that's Black Twang and Tubby T in them, man. Bro, they're actually real people. Yeah. Like, who was there anyone there that you seen that you was like, oh, right, you just... Because
No, that's the thing. That's the weird part of like being in it and then being behind the scenes of it, like working at the shop.
Yeah.
I don't get starstruck very often.
Was it good to network when you was there though? Because it must have been great. I think
it's amazing.
As an artist, it must have been so good to be in a place where
But I wasn't even thinking networking. I was more just like collaboration.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can talk to you about working on a record at some point. And even if it's not, it's just good to have music conversation and learn from people who are 4 steps ahead of where you are and where you want to be.
Yeah.
So that was a good turn up. And it wasn't even intentional. I walked into Deal Real trying to buy Mason Cameron's Horse and Carriage.
Oh, rotted!
357 on the flip, on the B-side. Get it to the top. It's 357, put it on the flip. And I was like, I want that vinyl. I need that.
That's a tune, man.
And he was trying to play me like real deep cuts, riggedy raps. And I was just like, I want those.
But
I want this.
Yeah. If you know, you know. Yeah.
Right.
So then, fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
You then win a MOBO award for Best Newcomer.
Yeah.
Crazy. What was that feeling like? Because 1980 as a track, still one of those tracks that it gets played obviously now to this day, but like it's one of those tracks. Obviously, it's lasted the test of time.
Yeah.
But there are some tracks within UK music that you always remember where you are it gives you a sense of like, I remember when I first heard this, but when I hear it now, it still feels new. Yeah. But it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, you know when something feels marinated within UK music? You can play it any time of the year. It's up there with like your Black Boys. It's up there with, for me anyway, I think like when you think of those UK staple tracks, you know, Black Boys, like 21 Seconds, 1980. Yeah. There's Swiss Cry. There's songs in there that you hear and you're like, yeah, I remember where I was. And then it was also at a time where like music videos were big, but also if you grew up in that environment, we all have our version of a 1980. You know what I mean? And there are also parts where even when I listened to it, I listened to it recently and I was like, right, was man really decomposed?
Yes.
Like
yes. Which is that's a question.
Was it really a body?
That question comes up. Yes. And let me tell you how hood it was. My mom had to go downstairs and clean it.
Is it?
They wouldn't come around and take his body quick enough. And my mom was like, I have little kids. No. And they were like, well, we can't get there to clean up the mess. Like he had died. So, you know, we're Africans and we're West Indians and we care about our elders.
Yeah.
And so my mum would just do wellness checks on these two old men that live downstairs opposite each other. Like, old white man, you know, who knows what they did and how they moved through life. But they were very, you know, to themselves and grumpy. And my mum would just make sure they were alive. Just on some like, God, I don't know why you put me here, but I have a home. And there's these two men. And I'm going to be kind because I need to show my kids how to be kind. And we were always like, ew, like, they stink. We'll walk through the hallway being kids, right? But she would always check. And so it was a thing in her head to like, no, I haven't seen him for a while and it's a smell coming from downstairs. I don't know. So she called and they finally came. And when they found his body, he was absolutely decomposing. His cats, one of them had cats.
Yeah, because you said the cat started eating him.
The cat started eating him. The house starts to reek. The shit was not. My mom was like, "Oh yeah, no," but they wouldn't clean the house.
Yeah.
So my mom had to go in there and clean the house to make sure that the smell was gone, so that we wouldn't. It was crazy. Yeah.
When those things happen, though, like, because I feel like there's a part of you where that is super traumatic.
For sure.
Yeah, super traumatic.
Yeah.
But like. There's something amazing you've done.
More than my mum, though.
Yeah, no. Big up Mumsy for doing that.
She was in her mid-30s doing that. Like, what? Think about who you are in your mid-30s if you go to clean up an old man.
But like, there's something amazing about how you turned that into music. Obviously, it's your experience, but you turned it into a track that we all felt that we lived that experience. Yeah. Like, if you've grown up within an estate, I'm not saying we all have our story of our neighbour dying and the cats eat him. Yeah. But we have our stories of trauma that we normalise in a way where
it's jokes.
Yeah, like someone will ask you, was like, "Oh my God, like was it?" Like I just had to ask. I was like, "So was it really a dead body or?" Did you, like I knew there was, but I want to hear
falsify that for the cameras. No.
But really? Like the way you was able to turn your life experience in a way that meant. Like, you know, you're rapping on the track, you got the strings in there as well. But you're able to share your experiences, moments that are inspiring, moments that are traumatic, telling your story, but doing it in a way where we all sat there and was like, I've got my 1980. Do you know what I mean? Mine, I'm a little bit younger, but I'm a lot younger, but mine's 1988, but it's we've all got our version of that. But it was amazing to like see how you was able to make music from your experience, and also at a time where you're like, that's what I'm showing to the world. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think because that was when music,
risky.
But I think you know what it was. I feel like music at that time, like UK black music, I felt like we was really showing our money in a way where some of the artists, it was, and look, if that's what you have, show it. Do you know what I mean? No one's watching Pockets here, but. You know, we're on MTV Base and we have MTV Base. Yes. We have our Channel U, but we also have our MTV Base a little bit. And to have that as your debut track, or one of your debut tracks was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she's,
oh, right.
She's not here like doing all the wee way down to her bum and she ain't out here being like,
man.
Yeah.
So how did it feel then getting, you know, a MOBO award as a best newcomer?
Well, thank you for saying that, first of all. What I'm getting from that is that you said it was just different and it was something else, but it was related to what people were actually going through. Instead of pitching up to what we wanted to be, it was like, this is where we are. And that's the truth. And to me, there's something about the truth that I don't care what stage of life you are in. None of it matters when you're telling the truth. You know, even if you haven't been through that kind of madness. Yeah. Everyone related to certain things. I grew up in the 90s in a 4-bedroom house. There's not many people that grew up with their own bedroom in the 80s by themselves. Even if you were super rich, you had cousins that had to come around and fucking and share your shit with you.
Yeah,
it was like, you know, it's a lifestyle and a way that we culture thing that people lived in the UK.
Yeah. You just knew you were sharing your bedroom.
So I was just someone came round and you had to give your things up. So to me, it was just like, well, this is the truth. You know, this is my truth, and also a lot of black people I know, and brown people, and Chinese, like wherever, or Asian people. Everybody has gone through a version of this with their family. If you're an immigrant to the UK, and even if you were born and raised here, and this is your thing, you have gone through a version of 1980. So for me at the time, I was just like, my immediate thought was like, holy shit. Like, holy shit, I'm so tired right now. Yeah. Because I promoted that record. I didn't just say, label, do your thing. I was talking on radios in West Shropshire. They had me in the car everywhere to talk to everyone. Shout out to having podcasts and streaming and video clips. Because that talking in a radio, like that radio station run in the beginning, in the early 2000s, whoo!
Because you had singular radio stations.
Singular.
As well. It's not like now where it's DAB.
Pirate.
It's in the car.
You are going to talk to, shake hands and kiss every single baby. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And I did that. So coming out the other end of it, like, oh, we got nominated from, what? I snuck into my first Mobo with my friend who did PR.
Oh,
snuck
really?
in, yeah. And I was just there like, she was like, come. Like really stuck in the back door. Like, so to go and be on the stage and receive an award maybe 6 years after it started was, there's a God somewhere, for sure. There's a God and he loves me.
How did that recognition, how did the recognition feel? Because, you know, I feel like we never do it to win awards. I feel like we always do it for the love of waking up in the morning and, you know, I want to sing this song to a crowd. I want to go studio. I want to work with this artist. Yeah. But how was that recognition at that stage of your career? How did it feel? Did it feel like...
It felt validating.
Noticed? Yeah.
It felt validating. But when people say we don't do it for the awards, it's not... That's true. But I feel like the awards help broaden the vision and give you more to look for. Yeah. And give more people eyeballs on your business and what you're telling them I'm here to do as an artist. So you kind of want the award, but that's not the sole reason. Yeah, that's like 3% of it. And when it comes, it's a beautiful validation. I think at that point I was just very much like, Ma, see, it worked. See, I was right to be in the house, and I know you cussed me out about not having money a lot of the time. It was a lot, but I got it. Yeah, I figured it out, and I'm grateful for every car trip, every person who told me it's okay, go. Like, you can do it. Like, I know you're tired, but go. I know that extra video that you did, it feels pointless right now. I know that extra interview you did feels pointless right now, but you're good. It's good. You're supposed to be doing this. Yeah. You know, in a world where it wasn't the thing. Not for no skinny black girl from London who I don't get it. Someone said that to me every other day. I don't get it. Why are you bothering? Why are you trying? Why even do it? To my face.
Was that you doing music or was it for your sound?
All of it.
Really?
Why are you even doing music? Like you don't exist in this world. Like, why would you even try? There's a lot of that to my face that I've had to like, nothing to do with me. That's your projection. Yeah. And I had that mentality as a child, as a kid. It's like, that's nothing to do with me. That's all you. You don't think you can do it. Yeah. So, you know, and they would say that to me. And you got to consider, and I tell people this now, I understand everyone's journey, but watch how you speak to young people about their visions and their dreams. Like, you're not going to get in the way of it, but it can move them out of purpose. Yeah, of course. You never want to do that, because when that karma comes back for you, baby.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's a wild time.
When they're head of the record label and they're like, I remember you crushed my dream, man. Oh man.
So how's them drugs working out with you and your family? Is it good? You all right? You still got a job over there?
So when you say people would essentially dim your light, because that's what it feels like in some ways.
They would attempt to.
Yeah. Was that from also like, you know, the higher up within music as well?
No, that's a standard thing, I think. And I think it was, you take it out of music, you start realizing it's a human condition.
Yeah.
People project. And they give you what they fear the most. They give you, they tend to give you the thing that they're scared of going to get. Because if they can't do it, why should you?
Yeah.
And I stopped focusing on them people. You know, you get it across all the boards. And even when people are helping you, it can be like, you're doing it, but do you really think you can do that? Yeah. It's just like, you're helping me get there. How are you telling me to shut the lights out now? Like, we're here. Learn how to move those people out of my space. And I've learned that it's also a reflection of me. So somewhere there must be a little doubt. So I need to go work on that doubt.
Yeah.
And I turn it inwards a lot of the time. Yeah. It's whatever.
I asked because you made your move going over to the States. And then in 2008, you bring out your second album, Shine. You know, you work with Kanye West in LA where you live now.
Yeah.
And the reason why I ask is because so many Black Brits go over to LA because whenever you get a different appreciation than you do over here. I know. I've
you back
been
and forth. You get it. Yeah.
But I think the reason why I asked because we were speaking just a minute ago about your music and your sound and you saying, you know, I knew my sound was different. But then also if you've got the execs dimming your light somewhat, did it feel like as soon as you went across the pond, it was like,
this is like...
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's...
Well, physically in LA it's bright.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's lovely, man.
So start there.
Come on. Runyon Canyon, boy, for no reason.
With a Chanel bag, because these are my things, okay? These are the things I have, my love.
Yeah, I know, man.
Madness. I don't do Runyon anymore. It's a lot. It's a lot in Runyon.
It's banging everyone.
Wild. Like, when I realised that was there, I was like, I'm never going back there. Like, we're going to have this personal trainer. You can come to my house.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't want to paint a picture like, oh, they just came and it was just all lights and glory, because there was people are people.
Yeah.
Wherever you go. But I will say that it was a measure of openness. And like, okay, well, let's see if you can do it. I go do it done. And once you do it, there's less of a energy of like, oh, all right, that was good. All right, well, stop now. Like, there's less of that than there is, all right, well, shit, I know a friend who knows a friend who can build something. There's more of an energy if we can build on this. If you get in the right headspace, then there is an energy of like, all right, well, you've done it, sit down. You know, which was what I was facing at that time here. Is different now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing so much more success and it makes me happy because it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's worth the sacrifice of me physically just not being near my family. But I'm built for this and they're built for this. Like, this is our journey as a family. So it's lovely to see a lot of artists having the success, getting the praise, getting the money, getting the levels, getting all the accolades that we ought to get. And don't have to leave home. Yeah. Like, shout out to the internet too. Don't have to leave their family. Can do what they need to do and make a living at this, and it's not an anomaly.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weirdo also, thing.
You know, on the back of what, you know, people like yourself has built. You know, you've made it a thing to go over to another place and
expand into the world.
Yeah, your sound is recognised and it's a UK sound and it's recognised. That helps the ecosystem of what Black British entertainment is. Yeah. Yes, there's UK entertainment, but there's also Black British entertainment that...
And it's a world thing.
Yeah, of course.
That's one thing I'm really happy about, and I don't take it lightly that it was just me. There are groups and there are artists that were out there way before me that set the pace, that still tour successfully. Yeah. And that really like opened people up to like, no. Nena Cherry was like another crossover that happened around the world. Moni Love is another one that was around the world. Yeah. And they opened the idea that, oh, it's not just tea and crumpets.
Yeah.
Though that's still they still say that, and I still want to rev people in the forehead when they say that. But it's not just, we exist as black people around the world.
Yeah.
It's not just, a type of black person or a type of British person. It's like, no, there are black people with parents from the West Indies and Africa, and we do this, and we are fly, and we're amazing, and we, we turn up too.
Yeah.
Like, this is our thing. And you come low key every decade, steal our sound, take it back every day. Think about that shit.
It gets changed a little bit.
From the 90s,
a little bit of that.
the 80s, and we do it to each other.
Yeah, man.
And so my thing is, we are here, we exist,
I think with the geography of LA, is the East Coast, because it's obviously closer to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There's always been, also, I feel like when you go to the East Coast of America, they have that connection of what is maybe going on in I don't know, in France or Paris or London or Berlin.
New York.
There's always a bit more of a closer connection. Yeah. The West Coast,
it's just by itself.
They're just like, listen, we do our thing in it. Yes. Bay Area, that's us.
But let me tell you, the Bay Area love London. They love
I've never been to the Bay.
They love the UK, and like the Bay Area to me is like Ladbroke Grove.
Okay.
Like, they've had a club called Yoshi's, and anyone that's been out to the LA in the Bay Area knows Yoshi's. There are British groups that go there and perform standardly and pack it out and sell out and do their thing.
Yeah.
I've been there and performed, and we performed at festivals. When I tell you, the crowd was from one end of Oxford Street to the other, and I could see the crowd was just endless, and they was all jamming to records I put out in like 2009. Like, and I'm here like, you really, you guys are fans.
Okay, I need to go to the Bay then.
Go to the Bay. Go to Oakland.
Okay, yes,
Go to Oakland. You're gonna have a time.
Because I guess we're more referring to like West Hollywood, isn't it?
Yeah.
People go to Equinox and they get like a £15 coffee.
Don't say you hate LA if you ain't travel past the 10 is what I'm talking about.
I don't even know if there are £15 coffees in that part of LA, but they're expensive.
At this point,
yeah, sure. Man. When you go to that, what's that one? That restaurant on the strip of
which one?
West Hollywood.
Not Mel's
the
Diner.
Butcher, the Baker.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
I'm gonna have to take you some more places, Mo. I'm gonna take you past the 10, okay? Take you to Lamert Park, take you to Baldwin Hills, take you to Adams. Okay, West
I like
Adams.
the Butcher, the Baker. It's all right though, man.
Some of the there's other places. There's so many places to actually find community in LA though.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of places. I'll take you.
Okay, say less. When I'm next there, say less, man. So like, when you're over there in LA, you make American Boy with Kanye West, which...
And I made it in New York.
Did you make it in New York?
Yeah, I made it in Miami and in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I just made that up though. I just assumed
I
that
say
you made
take
it in
me
LA.
to New York. I want to see LA. It's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I actually moved to New York first, and then I moved to LA.
Okay. How come you moved to New York first?
Because it was closer.
Oh.
And also my label was there. I was in Atlantic at the time. John lived there. We all lived there. So it was just like, why am I? I'm not going to LA.
Was it like a hub in terms of just for the sound as well? Because New York's
music.
like the home of...
It was a hub for the music. Everybody that was making music was in New York. And it does that. The industry over there does that. They go from coast to coast and they just migrate every 10 to 12 years. Everyone goes to the West Coast. Everyone goes to the East Coast. Everyone goes to Atlanta, down to Miami, back to the East Coast.
Yeah. Because I remember at one point it was in the South for a bit. Yeah. Okay. So it just moves around.
Yeah. But at that point it was New York, and it was physical proximity to the label. It's like, I want to be in I understand how this game goes.
Yeah.
And you're not going to treat me like I'm brand new. Like, I'm clear about how this business goes, and I'm going to be in your face. Craig Cowman, who was the boss at the time.
Okay.
And I was there. I was in there was no excuse to not promote me. I was ready to work. I was focused, and I would show up like a star every time as much as I could, And it was, the studios were there, the producers were there, everyone I wanted to work with was there. So
what was it like making that record though? Because we was talking about it a little bit before we started the pod, but like, I just remember, and I've got a ton of experiences, but like being in Clapham, I was at a party that was predominantly, there was from the hood there, innit? Really.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was in Revolutions in Clapham.
Yeah.
And they had a private little section, and everyone there is from the hood.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the people who was there off camera.
Yeah.
And then when I say, you're like, oh, okay. But I won't incriminate them. I say off camera, off the podcast. Then you'll say, oh, okay, cool. But in there, this is like, Clapham has always been where for like the young professionals are, do you know what I mean? And works in the city or, got a good job. They always go to Clapham.
EC something.
But I never forget when American Boy played and we were still quite young. We was probably very early 20s. I'm talking like maybe 21, 22.
Yeah.
And how everyone came together was like, I think the DJ played a good 2-3 times.
Wow.
Because like, the DJ's trying to play songs for us, but then he's realising that it's not
just us.
It's not just us. We've got other people. But seeing, middle-class white women come up to a group of young black boys and be like, take me on a trip. And we're like, we're twirling them around. Like, it was like, I'll never forget that moment.
Twirling them around. No.
Yeah, that's the thing you do, innit? You're like, all right, okay, all right, yeah. I don't know this woman, bro. Yeah, twirl her, yeah, thank you. Yeah, pick up this woman, bro. But like, it was...
Wait, I just got a vision in my mind, like, oh, she's sure, okay, 12.
We didn't know what to do. We're like, why are you dancing with us? No, I don't know. Because normally it's like, hey, move from me, man. Nah, me, man. I'm chilling with the man.
He said, but
move from me, man.
I'm in it. In this one...
Like, hey, what's going on, man? So, like, you guys drinking? Yeah. Listen, when certain songs come, hello, you all right? Yeah, big up. What's your name? Agatha, all right? I don't know this woman, bro.
Not Agatha.
But, like, I never forget that song came on and it united like the room.
Yeah.
And that's just my experience, and there's many other experiences. But like, how is it like, where you are in your middle now? Like, how has it changed your life in some ways? Do you know what I mean?
Goodness, like well, start from the top. I believe in prayer, and that's a prayer.
Of course,
comes true.
God is the Most High, boy.
The Most High loves me
man.
In a way that is inexplicable. And I have records now that I could say in any space and time, someone's gonna know it and someone's gonna feel joy about it. Yeah, and to me, that record, it was just pure fun. I was channeling Polly from Heidi High when I was recording it.
Oh, really?
Remember that, like Heidi High? Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, that was me. I was in the studio in Miami going like, take me on trip, like going like head, eyes rolling high, just happy high, not high, happy high, just having fun. And I remember thinking, yeah, they're going to feel this because I am in pure joy right now. And this is all I got. Didn't take me long to record it.
Oh, wow.
None of my records that I believe are really good records and that people love from me take me long. Hour max.
Yeah.
It's like channeling, almost like just boom, boom, boom out. Right? And 1980 didn't take us long either.
Okay.
So I feel like these are the ones where it's like God was like, I have something for you to say. Say that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's my explanation on how those records come. But it changed everything. And like it's what I wanted. For me, it wasn't the going there to get it. It was I'm going to win a Grammy. That was the point. How I was going to get it was immaterial. I didn't care. Right? The things lined up. I said yes to the things that lined up, and I was grateful for it. And I went to work. I shook hands and kissed babies in America too. I've been tired, Mo. Haven't slept in 20 years. But it was the same amount of work. But the payoff that everybody and their auntie and their grandma and their cousin and their grandkids and their nieces and nephews and to today, the Fortnite version, the this version, the remixes, the Gavin, Stacey and Gavin, it's just like, this is lifestyle, God. This is what we prayed about. Thank you. Thank you.
And I guess it must feel so endless because it's like I was saying before, it's one of those timeless tracks.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those, we have our UK tracks within the black community where we're like,
yeah.
These are our anthems. Like we were saying, you know what I mean? 1980s, Swiss Cry.
Yeah.
I'd probably put
21 Seconds.
21 Seconds, Craig David's Rewind.
Yeah.
We have these
7
tracks.
Days, yeah.
And we would defend them to the heavens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then American Boy is one of those tracks where it's like UK staple track. Dance floor. You get on the dance floor, you sing, everyone knows every word. Like,
which
it's one of those tracks where also like
You got men on the floor singing that like this America.
But then like when Kanye starts coming on, that's when the guys are like,
they're like,
in it. We're like, let me sing it to you. So you know what it reminds me? You know like Greece.
No, it's like, you got your funds.
This is my bit. Yeah, man. But I say it because it's one of those tracks. It's like,
oh wow,
it's like a timeless track. It's obviously internationally known, but like it's a guaranteed. Like it's a real club banger, but it's a floor. You know when a song is a club banger, a floor filler, like a song you want to like groove to in the car.
Yeah.
And some tracks can fit one category. You know, you're like this is a floor filler. It's just... Like, well, let's do it in the car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna play this out of the car.
Oomph.
Yeah.
But it ticks like every single box. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not just saying that just to gas you up, but it's the truth. It's like it ticks every box. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Mums like it. Do you know what I mean? The roadman who's bringing up a spliff is like, I really want to.
Which is nuts to me. Which is nuts to me. Like,
and like it's like there's some of those tracks that I think of and I'm like, it's in that kind of category. Do you know what I mean?
This is when will.i.am produced the record, and he has a bunch of producers, and one of the producers that ironically worked on my new album throughout. Me and him made this new album. But one of the things that I told him was like, don't play me nothing light. I need heavy records. Like, don't play me no light because you're looking at me like this skinny little black girl. Like, you don't need nothing heavy. You need a pop record. And I was just like, but I need bass line.
Yeah.
I was very clear about that. The reggae has me, will always have me. So when Will played that, I was like, run that back. It was like a lot of like moving around the studio, like, no. He was like, I said, listen, bro, if we don't make this record, your money back on this record, I'll go to Ibiza with it. I'll pay you for it, and I'll just go to Ibiza. That was where I was at. I was like, I'll go to Iron Apple. We'll be good. We'll be good. I'll make your money back. I'll sell a return. I'll be straight, man. And that was my energy about it. I was like, no, this is. What was it? Super D. I had a Super D mixtape.
Yeah.
My cousin had given to me on CD, and I was playing that. My whole maybe 2 or 3 months before, I was just like, shit was on repeat in my house. That shit went platinum in my house. And I was like, no, this is home. We're good. In Europe and the UK, this is going to do it. I didn't expect the world. I didn't expect Japan, China, Hungary, Poland, Australasia, Bolivia. We have been everywhere with that record. I'm sorry. We've been everywhere with that record. And to me, it's just like, when you know, you know. But again, that's where I come from. It was inspired by me knowing my music and what I knew of the UK and being sure that what we do has value, you know? But like you said, the roadman building up to it.
Listen,
that stuff
everyone
is like,
likes that track, you know? Yeah, that's a floor filler. How did it come to be working with Kanye West? How did that come together?
Well, he was kind of like at the time where John was signed to him and I was signed to John.
Yeah.
So like cousin, uncle, like not uncle, cousin, right?
Yeah.
And we're making this record and the label like, well, this is a hit. I was like, all right. I was like, I mean, I know. You know, the children are dancing to it. Like the 2-year-olds in your houses that you're playing it to and you're testing it with, they're all bobbing. This is going to be good.
Did it get released?
By will.i.am before he did.
Yeah.
So right before. I
feel like it got airplay before.
So here's what happened. So the Kanye part, he came on it afterwards. They were just like, how do we supercharge it?
Okay.
And like, there's only one rapper that could do it. And we went around all the different rappers who were out.
Yeah.
And they were like, Kanye, he's right there. And they were like, I was like, I mean, it's a hit with or without him. That's just extra shit. You know, like it's extra. And so he won on it. He did it. He killed it. When that got tricky, he had put it. will.i.am had put it on an album he had with BBE. That was already sold, and he played. I don't know if he played it by mistake.
Yeah.
Or he played us the record by mistake and was like, no, I don't think you should. And I was like, we're going to use this.
Because I remember hearing it before Kanye was on it. So I've always wanted to ask that.
So the beat was already made and he put it on that album and people were like, oh, this is already out. And we were like, it's on BBE. It's a smaller boutique label. will.i.am's will.i.am. But the way he had produced it was more instrumental.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Songs About Girls vibey type of record. So it was out, and it was only out in the UK.
Okay.
So it was, because he's will.i.am, it would get major play, and people were, would back to back it sometimes when it record would come out.
Yeah.
But my American Boy wasn't the only record that was double play for me. Come Over was also a double play.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, so I had Come Over too, and it was given to an artist called Chantel, who's my friend. And then we had to kind of yank it back. Or the label were like, reproduce that shit to the producer. Give us that back.
Yeah.
And he reproduced it a bit. He gave her one version of it, and I had another, and Come Over's Come Over.
Yeah.
So it's what it is. And Chantel's my dog. I love her. We was in Barbados a couple years ago in New Year's. That's my gal. So it's no beef on that end of it. It's sometimes you just got to tweak the beat a little bit and put a different song on it. It's like a doublet.
So then within your middle, you get like a Grammy nomination.
Madness.
How does that feel? Because I feel like when it comes to, we sit here and we say, you don't do it for the awards. But when some awards come knocking, it's like,
like I said, it's going to put more eyes on your purpose, on your mission. So
yeah, man.
I think for me, it was just the idea that I had said it and it's here. And my friends at that point were like, oh, bitch, you really do say things and they happen. I'm like, understand who I am.
Yeah, man.
No, but like, God loves me. Manifestations.
Yeah, man. Big on that, man.
That was a real thing. I wrote it out. I said it 4 times, more than 4. I was very clear that this is the direction we're going in. And so everything started lining up. It happened, we got told about the nomination when I was in Vienna on a tour, and I wanted to come home. I was over it. I was tired. I was pissed. Everyone was pissing me off. I want to go home. And I get on the phone, and it's just like another phone call about another bill or something going wrong. And I'm just like, what? Well, you got nominated. I was like, for what? Like, what am I nominated for? All the award seasons are done. Like, stop. For the Grammys. Man, I almost dropped the phone. You got 2. I was coming down in the lift, skinny lifts in Europe, right? The small little lifts.
Yeah, man.
I started jumping to the point they were like, no, stop. I was jumping. I got out in the street. I did a whole praise dance. I may have fallen on my knees. I was like, God, you love me. Thank you. And then party to the next city. Of course, I didn't want to go home then. Well, I came home for Christmas, but I was like, this is great,
Yeah.
Going to the awards. I got my award on the carpet, which was funny because the year before I barely got on the carpet with John. It was a lot of jostling for place and space, and I was kind of in the back like,
one thing when you
just want to go home.
When you do the carpet in America,
you like, know what time it is.
You need to move up there.
Everyone move.
It's like a cattle, and if there's someone else who's like, oh, this person's coming, you can see them all getting ready to be like, we're trying to
move along.
Okay.
And so for me to be there the next year in my own right, like, nah. And I got it in the middle of an interview. So I was like, well, while I'm here, everyone at home can see me. My mom was like, we can see you. Like, she's texting all the people. She's like, we can see you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mom. Like, I was happy. I was good after that.
Yeah.
Whether I won the other award or not, I ain't care.
Yeah.
I won my Grammy,
Wow.
But then being in the room and performing and seeing the legends who you grew up looking at, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and everybody. So I remember seeing Jimmy Jam Terry Lewis was right there, and I'm on this podium performing. He was like there. I was like, but I better sing properly. Don't fuck this up, E. Don't fuck this up. I took my time about it and I did my thing. Those moments seared into my soul.
Yeah, man.
Because it was like, oh no, you really do manifest in your life, and it's beautiful.
That must have been a moment though, to be at the Grammys, get an award. And also I feel like getting a Grammy as a UK artist,
we're not crazy.
It's like this doesn't happen for everyone. No. Like even nominations as well. And also a Black British UK artist. They say, we need more people from the UK on the council and to recognise. And, sometimes it's interesting. We say, we're like, we don't really do it for that. But then sometimes you're like...
I want someone to say, yes, we do.
Yeah. I want
everyone to get bossy about this, please.
There's some awards where you're like, You know what, like,
no,
like,
I want it.
Man could have at least got a invite call or something. Like, yeah.
Well, we just have to be. I think that's the one thing we're humble, and I use that word with the knowing the root of it is nice, and that comes from naive.
Yeah,
we're very humble about what we want. Man, say what you want, state it, stand on it, be nice to be kind to people. Just stand on what you want and move according to what you believe you should have. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody else does it. They do it. Like, no one gets in front of a camera to say, "Don't film me." What we talk? Why are you here? What's that plan? You know, think about that. Yeah. Everyone that's listening, think about that. If you have a friend who's good at something and they get in front of the camera now, do they do it because they don't want to be seen? Or do they do it because they believe that they are good at being creative and playing a role or singing a song? And it's fine to say that. It's lovely to have other people say it to you.
Yeah, man.
And it's amazing to be a person that's like, man, I'm about the craft. But you also want to be seen.
Yeah,
you also want your purpose to hit its target, you know? And I think we do ourselves sometimes a disservice being too self-deprecating. Sometimes stand up and say, yes, no, I'm really good at this and I'd like the chance to show you it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'd like the chance to be awarded for it. I'd like the chance to be recognized for it more than awarded. And I'd like the chance to do something that moves your spirit, that moves your energy, that changes your life. I'd love the opportunity to show you what I can do in this aspect and to live in my purpose as a person, as an alchemist, as a creative. And I'm grateful for that. That's where I get into like my kindness. I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this for a living and people care. But I believe I deserve it too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's more about, saying I'm talented and I'm blessed. I'm not lucky. So let's just get that out.
We work.
Take that L word. I say that to everyone. Never say you're lucky. I'm just lucky. I'm lucky it just worked out. I'm like, nah, lucky means
luck.
You didn't plan for it to happen. That's just walking across the road.
The things that happen, that's luck. That's cute.
Yeah.
Your life was not by chance.
It didn't. I always say that. Take that word lucky out your vocabulary, man. Because
in respect to yourself, you were planned on being here.
Yeah, man.
Whether your parents planned for you or not, something planned on you being here.
Yeah, man.
Act like it, man.
Yeah. Speaking of being here, you're here in
here.
the UK. I know you're doing a bunch of press and stuff as well. You got your new album out as well. Yeah, how's that feeling? Because I know you're still touring. You got a show on Saturday in Philly. So how's it now, like releasing music, and especially like being back home? Because what you were saying about the UK, of how you're like, it's thriving. People don't need to, go and do X, Y, Z and stuff. What's it like, being back?
Man, it's beautiful. I am getting so much love and love that I wasn't even thinking, or again, I wasn't, as much as I'm saying like, yeah, absolutely. I'm just like, oh, I didn't realize that it was here like that, and that you're mentioning like the cousins and that your older sister would play that. And I'm getting people coming up like, you were in my house Saturday morning, 1980 was playing. And I'm just like, I'm glad it's in Aretha now. I'm that grown.
Yeah, man.
But my manager broke it down like hip hop is growing up. And so we are dealing with people. We have people who are first generation babies of hip hop.
Oh yeah, man.
Right. So their oldest memories are hip hop artists. And I'm just like, wow, that's not a lie. And I'm grateful, I'm honored to be in the number that did something that people care to listen to. Thank you. It's not in vain. It wasn't for fun. It wasn't for blah. I did something of standard, of something that helped to build futures. That helped to move life, and it's moved my life too. But that meant something to somebody and people. So it's a lot of love happening, and the people are like, thank fuck you're back. And I'm just like, I'm back.
Yeah.
And they're saying like, yeah, it's been a minute. And I'm like, it has. The pandemic threw me. Because the last record I put out was a reggae album that people kept asking me to do. I did that in 2018. And then the pandemic had us all sit down for a while. And I had the choice to sit and just be like, well, I did it, legacy, time, just exist off your records. Yeah. And I was almost there, because I was just going to go act or something, do my radio show and live my best life.
Yeah.
And God was like, no, you got more things to say. So this new album, Stay Alta, is built out of returning to myself and joy. You know?
I feel that though, because it's got that, I don't know if it's your influence from your auntie, but there's that funk and soul in there.
All of it.
Do you know what I mean?
You remember we just talked about growing up. Our Saturday morning cleaning was Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Yeah, man.
It was Bob Marley. It was, it was pop music, but it was Sister Sledge, and it was all of that. It was Melba Moore. It was Stephanie Mills. It was Sylvester, Larry Levin, the original guy, original blends guy. Okay, like it was those artists that to me exemplified Anita Baker, Patti LaBelle. They were the records that were played while I was chopping onions for dinner later and cleaning, learning how to clean fish. Okay, like hoovering the floor, washing the bathroom, leaving it to season, and then coming back to. These are the records that we lived on, and in the pandemic, we're all listening to D-Nice. Everyone was like, yep, this is the DJ for the time.
Yeah, man.
And he's playing records all through the day and all through the night, and not one of them was anything up to date. Think about it. It was all rare groove, what we call rare groove.
Yeah.
I was in there like, say, Jeffrey Osborne, like Strawberry Brothers Johnson, like I was grown around that time. I was 5. I was 0 and 5, between 0 and 5. And I was like, this makes me happy. This fills my soul with joy. And I want to make sure that we remind ourselves that we're built with light. When we were younger, that was light to us. That was, we have that light. And this music feels like light. This music reminds us who we are as people. And my thing with this was bringing back soul, reminding people of soul, reminding people that there are bridges and there are intros and we need them.
Yeah.
And we should use them in music and put a change in somewhere and push yourself as a musician, but do it from joy. Do it from the dance. Do it from the two-step.
Yeah.
Do it from the move your body, like body roll in a seat if you're not able to dance.
Yeah, man.
You know, like it's nothing wrong with it. This is who we are as people.
And I feel like, like with music now, I feel like we probably seek out more music now than we ever feel like we did. Because it's weird where it's become so accessible.
So it's just like, everywhere.
And it's so accessible. But then there's also like there's the stats of music where we get our wrap up at the end of the year, or like
it's like everything's focused outside of music, and we're focusing on quantifying music instead of feeling it.
How many streams there are, and don't get me wrong, your streams are solid still. What are you on, like 800 million or something?
On Spotify, it's over 1 billion at least in American Boy, and I'm grateful.
Yeah, man, there's some big numbers there,
God is good.
Yeah,
I've been here for a minute.
It must be nice sometimes. You're like, that my wrap up's good still.
It should be. God, it should be.
The wrap ups are rapping, boy.
Wrap ups are rapping, but it should be. I've been here for a while.
Yeah.
If it was 2 streams, I'd be like, something's wrong with the algorithm. I put out way more records than that. What's going on?
Yeah.
But it should be that. But we have access to it all, and we forget because we're like everything new is pushed on us, and we forget that. And this goes back to my point of light. As people, we forget that we are the originators. As humans, we forget that we are the originators. Like, AI is great, use it. But we create soul. We create dancing. We walk around and make each other feel things. As humans, touch somebody. That's what real things are. Humanity is. So this album for me is about reminding people of your light. You are the person. It's cute. We have all the things. What about you?
Yeah.
What do you wake up to every morning and say to yourself? Like, how do you move through your life? So between the songs and the music, I just want to remind people that it's you. It's your light. It's always you. It's not them. It's not them. It's not the things. It's not your shoes. It's not your stuff. It's not your electronics. It's not your streams. It's not your stats. It's you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the special thing. Like, and imagine that we're on this planet, in this world, in this time, in this galaxy. You get what I'm driving at?
Because we focus so much on the future, so staying in the present is almost like a luxury. We try so much,
but it's not. It's the actual standard.
No. I always say it should be the norm, but I guess with the amount of distractions we have, or you've got one podcast telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. The other one said you not eat sugar. Then
the other one's telling us don't eat rice now.
Yeah,
I was like, if you people don't, hey.
But then someone's telling you, hey, you need to. Have you seen this film? No, I've not seen that film. Have you not seen Sinners? I don't know. You know, I just watched this other thing and I watched that.
I'll come back to it.
Yeah, so I feel like now staying in the present is almost like
it's a practice.
I'm just here.
It's a practice.
Yeah, you know, the other day I was in the gym and someone was like, I don't really see much in the gym, man. I said, well, I just like being here. I'm here, innit? You know?
I'm here today. Hi.
Because we're so used to being like, I've been on this, I've been on that. Yeah. So, we up to you? Nothing much. Man.
I start telling people, minding my business, drinking my water. That's literally what I tell people when they say, what you been up to?
Juice, yam, food.
Sleep. My
Big
other
up GK and Stefan, come on.
Okay.
Sip, juice, yam, food, man.
Just, man, I'm here. I'm living my life. What you been doing for the past 6 years? Living life.
Yeah, man.
What you been doing?
Yeah,
we was all in the same pandemic, yeah? Living my life.
Yeah.
Oh, living my life. This morning, would you like to know what I did this morning?
Yeah.
I got up, put my face on, like put makeup on because I'm going to be on TV and came here.
Yeah.
And I'm having a good time.
Yeah, we need to normalise that. What you been on? Well, I'm alive.
What, last 10 minutes? Like, that's literally my statement, people. Like, last 10 minutes?
Let me tell you what I'm doing now. Don't worry what's going on. But talking to them now, you have your memoirs coming out as well, right?
I do.
That's going to be so interesting, man. Yeah. How you, because I feel like this is another facet in some ways, you know, because we've always got to know you essentially from your music as well. Yeah. So now you're going to get into this space of
telling the people.
You're letting people in, you know.
I felt like it was necessary because I kept being asked, how did you do this? And I started being like, I've got 15 years of stories, 20 if I'm being honest, 20 plus. All right, let me write a how-to book. And basing it on the entire experience, and I'm not doing a tell-all, let me just get that off. Because that doesn't help people.
It's not by force, man.
And I don't like to slander people. That's not my thing. Everybody played their part perfectly and I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
But what I've found helps me first and helps other people is getting the summation of the story. So moving to New York, people assume, because no matter what you tell them, people talk from their perspective. They assume it was because no one wanted to, you know, like the UK hated you. And I was like, that wasn't the case. I have so much love here.
Yeah.
It's evidenced in the way that it went to #1 here first before anywhere else. So much love here. It's not that. The business, there was no space for me in the business as it was turning. And there was space for me in the United States. And the physicalness of being in the signed to US label means you have to be there. So telling that technical stuff and telling people how I came to that decision, I think that's more, you get more value from that, especially if you're an artist or just a creative of any sort. Yeah, creative of any sort. You get more value from that than you will me saying, yeah, they didn't want, they want me. I'm wanted here. I am loved here. And I don't take that for granted. And it's just like, I feel like I need to tell it in a way that people will understand there are real reasons and there are real, there are real quantified steps that you have to take for success. And how I did it is this way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell it via my experiences. And some you're going to know, and some you're going to be like, well, damn. And some you're going to be like, I wonder why she chose to do that.
Yeah.
And I want you to have all of that because this is your life and this is just my projection of my life. And if there's something in it that can help you, awesome.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I care about. Like, we have to give, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
And so this is my giving. Yeah, giving.
Yeah. And in speaking of like your journey, how do you start to like envision like the latter part of your life? I don't know why I got all Shakespeare then.
No, it's okay.
The latter part, you know.
I like that you put it like that too.
Because I always pose the question where I say, you know, do you look at your end? But, you know, the later part in your life, because now you're at a part where, you know, you're coming over here to do promo. Yeah. You know, where sometimes it's, for a lot of artists that live here, it's like going the other way around.
Well, I'm doing it all over the world.
Yeah. But I feel like
me going everywhere.
You know, you have a place that you call home now. And, you know, you're coming here where you are loved and adored and your music is timeless. It's still playing and, you know, you're writing your memoirs. how do you start to kind of, you've easily laid the foundations down. You have a blueprint for people to follow in some ways. Yeah. So, and what I mean by that, the blueprint, if it was a house, we're like, cool, I see where that goes. The foundations is there. The house is built. Yeah. It looks fantastic.
How do I decorate this?
I see how I can build this thing that might not have always seemed possible to build in some ways, but it's loved as well, but like, how do you leave that blueprint for almost the next generation in some ways? Because I do feel like you are a product to follow in a way that is just seeing another successful Black Brit. I don't do music, but just seeing the fact that I'm like, oh, you live in LA.
Yeah, you can do this.
That's cool. Yeah. It's possible. And we have this thing of Black Brits. I don't want to exclude anyone else, but as Black Brits, in LA, everyone kind of knows each other. Yep. Do you know what I mean? I know London Hughes out there, Damson Idris is out there. Jovan, everyone's kind of out there. Yeah. And it's not to say everyone's hanging out, but you're like, oh, cool, I know. Yeah. Oh, you're doing your thing here. Cool. Yes. And it's something for it to follow. Not to say that we all must go America, but it's really, I feel like what you've done is like, I've got this thing and I'm taking it where it needs to go to. Check this out. I don't hate that. I don't hate that, but check out what I'm about to build. And so how do you look at, handing over the blueprint to almost like the next generation for your legacy in some ways?
I look, as much as people want to be in contact with me, I give my number out. Yeah. Always call me. Seriously. And if anyone's ever heard anything different, you're lying. And if you've been a weirdo, that's probably why you never got my number. or if there was no mutual connection, that's probably why you never got to talk to me, because boundaries, my dear.
Yeah, of course.
But for the most part, every artist that I've come across, any field, I try and give as much information as they want. That's me personally. That's one. Writing the book is the second. And 3, I just want to keep living my life according to the dreams I have. All I ever did was dream. Like, sat in my house and was like, it'd be really nice if I was on top of the pops. Yeah. It'd be really nice if I could. It'd be lovely if I win a Grammy. I'm going to win a Grammy, and then got real determined about certain things. The more I understood manifestation and how you speak to yourself and your dreams. Yeah. And all I want to do is keep dreaming. So in my future, I see Broadway, whether I produce or I'm in it. I see more movies. I've said I want to win an Oscar. I'm saying best lead or supporting. I'm not sure, but I want to do the work and I want to get it done. Or producing. I don't mind. Yeah. I want to be an EGOT. However it comes, I'm open to it. I get out of the way of the details. That's all God, as usual. But I want to be an EGOT. I think it's time. And I've been on Emmy nominated animated shows, Steven Universe. We work and it's always very acute and very me, so that's the career side of it. But mostly on the personal side, I want to be a blessing. I want to be joyful. I want to live a very long and happy life. I want to be of sound mind. I want to continue to be able to be an open heart and grow and be young in my thinking and be open to things that keep that calm on the new stages of life. I always want to be a resource for people, but not to the point where it wears me out. I always, this is where I'm at on a personal level. All the things that come to help fulfill those things, I'm with it. Because I feel like when you live like that, it's saying thank you to God. I'm 45 now, and I can say that with all the pride, because honey, okay, I look cute. But I'm 45 and I think to myself, oh God, imagine if I live for another 45. Praise God. I'm 90. Sheesh. I want to have a full, beautiful Quincy Jones ass life.
Yeah. If you've done this in 45, you we all have that mentality of like, bro, what else can I do in the next 45?
And then you think to yourself, with money, with my good wits and my connects and my contacts, and you dream bigger. Yeah. And I want that. I personally want that for everybody. I want everyone to hit that point in their life, whether you're young or old, where they're like, I'm doing everything. I want to do everything and just do it, wherever your everything is, just do it, be and but keep good spirit, be a nice human. Not nice, be a kind human. Give, however you give. I don't care if it's things, if it's your time, if it's give, because that's energetic. It comes right back.
Yeah, man.
And just use your talent, stay in your purpose, rediscover yourself, reinvent yourself. There is nothing that says because you're color, because you're this, that you shouldn't or you can't. I don't care if your parents tell you can't. Do it. This is your journey. Your parents are on their journey. You were part of their journey and you came here. You have yours.
Yeah, man.
Go for that shit. Like, it's really open out here, and you make this up. You and God sit there and co-create your life every minute you open your mouth. Like, say something good. Put good in your life. And that's my end.
Yeah, man.
Right? That's where I'm at. And that's where I'm moving forward to. This is the whole album. Stay out, stay high, stay up, stay good, stay in your bag. That's my thing. Yeah.
Oh, Estelle, man, it's been a pleasure to just have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
But also just like seeing your journey from, listening to 1980 from the jump. And I feel like that always feels so special when, I listened to your music early on in my life. And like a full circle moment to be sitting in front of you and hearing the stories and, but also it's like, it's the journey, you know what I mean? I feel like the journey is so inspirational. I know that there'll be a lot of people taking a lot of stuff from this and the way that you have built what you're currently doing, whether that is here, whether that's in the US or wherever it is around the world. It's like, that blueprint is really there for us to all see, and it's proper inspirational. So
thank you,
it's been a pleasure, man, and this has been your beginning, middle and end. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Estelle. Appreciate you, man. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.